Hello, Business 1300 Personal Finance students. This is your instructor, Dr. McGrory, and I'm just taking a moment to reach out to you to say hello, talk to you about your most recent grade, and just make sure that you've got all the information that you need inside the course. Hopefully, as you're entering into our course, you're going under this content link here, because the instructions are ordered by category, and so as you started with chapter 1, you have the objectives of the chapter, and you can click these, and hopefully you know this, but you can kind of read through, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You can advance to the next item and review these personal notes. Of course, you're reading through your textbook, and that's very, very important. And as I continue on, this is kind of what I was afraid was going to happen. It's popped me out to something, so I'm sorry, let me close that. There's an external resource there, some additional materials that you can practice. But as you look down through here, of course, you know that with each chapter there is a chapter quiz. This one seems like long ago now, probably, because it ended on the 31st. But then there's also a discussion board posting, and you've already completed this Money Problems in America. So here's chapter 2. You have similar activities. This one finished, and I wanted to tell you that I have just recently graded and given you some feedback on this, and that's going to be important, and I'm going to tell you how you can look at that feedback, because you are currently working on chapter 3, and as you can see from the due date here on the quiz, and this applies to the discussion board as well, they follow, as you know from your schedule, the same due dates. You have another discussion board posting going, and so just kind of be aware of that. All right, so let me talk about the discussion board posting quickly. You know how to do these quizzes. I see you out there. I see you working in this virtual environment. I don't get to say that to you too much, but I do check on you and look at how everyone is doing in the class and make sure assignments are advancing. So good for you there as you're out there working. On the discussion boards, as I click this one, budgeting, of course it's the next one due, right? Couple instructions. Here's the question we're responding to, but it says you must post your response before the responses of others will be visible. So hopefully after you post, you're looking at what some other folks have done. And then I give you some very important clarifications. Make a statement of your opinion. So you just start out and you answer the question. This is what I think. This is what we ought to do. The answer is, this is the answer according to me, in my opinion. In fact, that's a key statement, in my opinion. Then you're going to look for support, and that comes from your textbook. And this is where you demonstrate to me that you are reading the textbook and that you're thoughtfully considering the textbook as you respond to the post. Now, as you are referencing the textbook, and this could be an exact quote from the textbook, but I actually like it better when you paraphrase because it demonstrates understanding. So let's just say that you are saying, listen, I gave you my opinion. Now I'm telling you that the textbook even has this example or this thought that I want to reference. You need to put a page number, and you need to put the page number then. In other words, with that sentence. Don't put it at the very end and say, basically all of this is the opinion of the authors of the textbook, because I want to know what you think. Now, after you do those two steps, and this is very important, most folks can then start to recall something they've experienced, your own pursuit of a job, your own thoughts in terms of whatever, I've asked you, budgeting in this case. You may have some insights into somebody and avoid any names or anything like that handled the situation in a certain way. So you might say, my friend had this situation, okay? Of course, as I say that, as you share examples, you know that everyone in the class is going to be able to read these examples, and so you just want to exercise some common sense as you post, okay? So at this point, I would start a new thread and, respond to that, give it a nice subject and all that. Be very careful with grammar and spelling. So far, you guys are doing really great on that. But I did say, as I return back here, these are nice little clickable links up there, that, I just posted grades for your Chapter 2 discussion. In this case, it happens to be on career advancement. So how do you get that feedback, in its full detail? And that's really important, because I often remember as I'm grading your next assignment, didn't I tell the class to put the page numbers, connected more closely with the thought? Didn't I tell them to make a clear choice? So I start to think about those kind of things, and I say, yep, I'm going to go back and look, and if I've given you a particular feedback and you haven't improved your work as a result of that feedback, well, then I might have to take off a few more points to kind of get your attention so that you'll look at this feedback. So here's how you do it. It's really simple. We're in our course under assessment, and this is my student account, so this is just like a dummy account. It's just a pretend thing, so I haven't submitted anything. Okay, so anyway, so bear with me on this. So I'm going to go from assessment to grades, and this is exactly how it would look for you as a student. And here I see all the different assignments and the points that I could be earning. Hopefully you took the attendance quiz, the first one and the second one. And like I said, this is just an account I use for demonstration purposes. So you see there's no points there. But hopefully you also see Chapter 2 quiz points, maybe even some Chapter 3 and 4. Maybe you're working ahead, so you're starting to see your scores there. But as I scroll down, Chapter 1 discussion, I try to give you a rubric, but where it says individual feedback, this is feedback that I am giving to you and only you. Nobody else in the class can see it. So there might be a lengthy note there. There may be a short note. I might be telling you that this is a really good posting, and you do not want to miss that pat on the back. So make sure you go in here. Again, you saw how easy that was. Assessment and then grades. And you know what people typically forget to do? Scroll down. That's the biggest thing, because as you can see, as we get more and more discussion feedback, I'm going to have to scroll further and further and further down. Now, whenever I post grades, maybe you didn't, post at all, in which case you won't get the grading table here. But you'll know that that assignment has been graded, because this feedback, overall feedback, is what the entire class sees. And typically what I will write here is grades are posted, right? So you see there, grades posted, okay? Later on you'll want to know how you did on tests, and you can see that you're really going to have to scroll all the way to the bottom to see that, okay? So I just wanted to touch base with you to make sure you get that feedback, make sure that you're doing well on these discussions. As a class, you really are doing well. Individually, I've given a couple of you some little tweaks. Honestly, I think it's nothing to get stressed about. I think it's things that'll just really elevate your work to the next level, okay? So take a look at that and keep on working hard, because you guys are doing it. And in this online class, sometimes online, it's easy to be out of sight, out of mind. But I see you all out there, and in many cases trying to work ahead, and that's fantastic. So we'll be talking to you soon, and keep up the good work.